Right, I'm going to try and show a reasonably easy way of getting getting the handle out, the driver's door handle. So I've got a torch in there, hopefully it will show. So all I've done so far is taken that rod off. So this little clip down here, these break easily, but when you push the rod into that hole and then you twist that up, which holds it in position. So obviously what I've had to just do for that is use a screwdriver, prise it off, and then the rod just comes out. Now there's one the other side. One's for the door lock, and the other one is, I'm not sure what the other one's for. But when one of these cars gets stolen, what they do is they punch a hole beneath the door handle, and then all they do is get something through and lift that up. That's how these cars are so easily stolen. So to get the other one off, which is the blue one down the bottom, what I've done is I've taken out the screws of the lock there, which makes it a bit easier. You can move the lock around so it's easier to get to the blue one. So that's a bit of a job to do this, a bit fiddly because of where it is, but I'll get that out and then we'll come back. Actually, it was quite easy because the lock was moving around. If I move the lock from here, you can see it moves around inside. So to get to that blue one was actually quite easy. So one thing to remember, which I've done in the past, which makes the lock not operate very smoothly, is that both of these rods go in from this side. In the past, the blue rod, which is at the back there, hand over there, they've got that one at the front and the other one there, if you can see it, goes into the blue. Difficult to see, but they both go in from this side. In the past I've put the blue one in from the other side, so that obviously puts some tension on the rod. So the next thing to do, you have to undo that bolt there, and then you undo that screw just there, and then on this mechanism here, which you won't be able to film because you can't see it, you have to compress that down, and then with a little bit of jiggery pokery the lock just comes out. Have an immense amount of trouble in the past. Hopefully I won't on this occasion, we shall see. Right, I've taken that bolt and screw out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on this this old lock here. This is an old driver's passenger side lock, so it hasn't got the key barrel hole in it. So what you have to do when this is in the door, this mechanism here, you have to compress with your fingers, which is the bit that happens when you open the door. That's what happens. Now when you put it in, you put that piece in first, slide it across, and then it just it comes out. But when you're trying to get it out, it seems like there's too much metal in the way on the car door, which there is to a certain extent. But what you have to do is get that piece out last. So you have to sort of pull it along a bit, and then lever it out, and all of a sudden it will go, and you'll see what you're doing. But you must compress that piece. If you don't compress that piece, then you ain't going to get it out, because that gets in the way of the hole. So it's quite a strange shaped hole, which you'll see. So I'm going to leave this on now, and I'm going to attempt to do it. Hopefully, as soon as I'm filming it, it'll do it quite easily. So the rods are disconnected. That's compressed. I think I need to get a tool on there just to prise it off, because I think it's sort of got stuck with the seal. So okay, I'll just use one of those to loosen it a bit, because it was a bit stuck there with probably just not glue. I just think it was stuck a little bit. Right, okay. So hand inside the back of the door, compress that, try and slide it along. Still a bit tricky. It helps if you put the window wound down. Actually, in fact, I'm going to wind the window down, so I'm getting my hand through the door. What am I saying? Of course you can't wind the window down. If you wind the window down, you can't get your hand in there. Right, so it's just a matter of trying to. I'm a bit cack-handed here. It is quite tricky. All of a sudden it will go. There we go. That's it. Come out. Just like that. Sort of just like that. Almost out. I have actually still got the rods attached to the other end, to this end of the lock, so that was probably would have been better to take those rods off actually first. So I might take those out as it's hanging out. If those hadn't been attached, then it would have come straight out. It's not good for your arms though, look. I'll just take those rods off and then it should just... Okay, both rods are off now, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to try and leave them on if I could, but there you go. As soon as the rods are off, it just comes out. As easy as that. Excuse the burglar alarm. I think someone further up the road is being burgled. Now there's the hinge, which is always the offending bit that breaks. It's quite stiff actually. I might get some oil on that. It's really stiff. That's the hinge that's always breaking. Easy to change when the handle's off the car. A bit trickier to change when it's on the car. So, okay. What we've got to do now is the other car that's in front of us. I've got to swap handles over because I did change the doors over and then I've changed them back. So now I've got to. So you have to remove these screws. There's 3 screws. Remove those screws. The lock. You then put the key in the lock, turn it, and then there's a little circlip somewhere. Little circlip just there, if you can see it, which you have to get out, and then the lock should just pull out without taking all this apart. So that's the next stage. What I just realised with this lock, this is actually the other lock off of the car. You can see it in the background here. So we've got 2 cars the same. The lock that was on that door that you saw me take off, I haven't got a key for, because I bought that door complete and I haven't got the key for the lock, so I can't get the barrel out to put the new lock in. So what I've done is, where I'd previously changed over the doors from one car to the other, I've now changed them back. The barrel that's in this one is the correct one for that car. So what I've done is I've taken it off this car, and then I'll have to get either see if I can get a key from the person I bought the door from, or failing that I'll have to buy another handle. So what I've done is I've put the rods on. This is what I was saying, the rods go on. Actually, I've put that one on the wrong way. No, I haven't. That's right. The rods, when the rods go in, they go in from that side. On previously, this rod here was on the other side. So that's the rod that releases the lock when you turn the key, and that one is the one that is on the mechanism when you pull the handle. So I've swapped over that, which was broken on the other lock, and so I've taken that out, the one that I took out. So they're all connected, so I'm hoping that will all slip back in nicely with the rods attached, because it's a lot easier putting them on when it's off the car than when it's on the car. So I'm just going to, that one's nice and free on this one, so I don't need to worry about oiling that. So I'm going to take the camera back over to the car and see if we can get this back on easily enough. Right, so here we go. So I've got to feed the hooks through. So I don't know whether this will work like this or not. So to get it back on again is a reverse, obviously, like most things. So you have to compress that, put that piece in first. This piece, I don't know if this is going to work with the rods on. Don't think it will. Might have to take these rods off. Yeah, no, I can't do it with the rods on. So you need to get this piece in first, so it pushes up. So yeah, no, I don't think there's any way of doing this with the rods attached. So I think I'm going to have to take them off. Yeah, not to worry, I'm just going to have to take those off and start again. Okay, I've taken the rods off, so now we can press that down. Again, it is quite a tricky little job. Put that bit in first, and then it slips in reasonably easy, just like that. That's it. See how much easier it is getting it in than it was to get it off. Now I'm going to put the rods back on. Okay, as you can see there, that wasn't quite so fiddly. What I did do is I took that lock back out again, and I put the far rod back on. Because at the top there, so where are we? At the top there, where that rod connects, it's behind the other one, so it's difficult to get to. So what I did is I took the lock out, put the blue rod back on, and then put the handle back on again, and then just connected it down the bottom, which was quite easy. Moving the lock around, the lock's still loose in there at the moment, so moving that around, and then the red one was easy enough. And then, of course, can I zoom in? Yeah, as you can see, it comes into focus, which it's not going to. I don't know if you can see that, there's a red clip that it pushes in, and then the red clip moves back over the rod to hold it in place so it doesn't pop out again. Now I've got to do the bolt up, redo the bolts up in there, and then redo the bolt, the screw in there, and then it should, in theory, all be working. We shall see. Fingers crossed.